Hi everyone, I'm Tom.
And I'm Tom.
And you're watching
or listening to
With the Toms podcast.
Across this series, we'll be delving into the world of learning. Stuff like psychology behind how people learn, how to engage with learners, and what makes good content.
Because we all know not all content is made equal.
Okay, let's get started.
So in our first ever podcast, we're going to cover a little bit about an intro to Tom1 and Tom2. We're going to go through a little bit about our career background, why we're actually doing not another boring podcast, what are our podcasts actually going to be about, and then maybe a little bit about how you can follow us and see what we do next. So Tom2, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Tom Gagan. I'm responsible for directing all the big hits like Toy Story 1, Mickey Mouse Adventures, everything Acme.
Absolutely.
It's a lie. I'm not responsible for any of that. What I'm responsible for is developing multiple learning libraries over 20 years, lots of visual communication experience, and lots of learning libraries and learning design. So yeah,
Great
quite
stuff.
well adversed in that.
Brilliant. My background is in brief. I worked on two of the UK's largest transformation programmes at United Utilities and TalkTalk, and then sort of found myself in the world of cultural change, transformation, learning and development. Was unfortunate enough to be part of the kind of innovative work at Learning Heroes, which then became Litmus Heroes, and then Tom and I started our own company, which ultimately led us to the world of Aaah learning. So my background, not so much in the creative space like Tom, but much more on the cultural change, I guess leadership, management, attended Harvard and Ashridge and places like that. So that's what I hopefully bring to this party. So I guess let's just chat a little bit about why we're doing a podcast, and particularly why we think we're doing not another boring podcast. Any thoughts on that, Tom?
I think really raise awareness of more engaging sort of training interventions. I think you and I both know, having worked for people and big conglomerates where they deliver PowerPoint training, it's pretty dire. I think our desire and sort of understanding of the market is people just don't want that. So I think our drive, and certainly my drive for the last 20 years, is to be making engaging visual communication, and in this case, learning. And I think that's what we do quite well.
Absolutely. I think that's what we're trying to hopefully achieve with these podcasts as well. So just like Tom was saying there about, we try to create, I guess, content that's different. I guess the same thing with our podcasts. The podcasts, in just the same way as our content, are going to be bite-sized, snappy, hopefully fun, plenty of bloopers that you'll probably see coming out of these as we get it wrong each and every time we try and do them. But the idea is that we're just going to do something that's hopefully practical, pragmatic, isn't going to be full of technical jargon, none of that stuff, and just hopefully be something that each time you pick it up, 4 or 5 minutes, and it will give you something useful to do around sort of content and learning and development. So over the next few days, and moving on from that, we're going to be covering some stuff around the sort of Learning at Work Week, which is happening on the 13th of May. We're going to be covering some topics around the psychology of learning, the future of learning, which is this year's theme, what makes great content, which is really what we're all about, and then also really, I guess, how can you make the most of Learning at Work Week. I guess, is there anything in there that you think is particularly exciting, Tom, out of those topics?
Well, I think the mental health collection is pretty exciting. I think we're hearing a lot of that in the media at the moment, and I think having produced a collection on that previously, and I think doing it the way we're doing it now, I think it's very, very hard-hitting, and especially for this sort of crisis point that mental health has reached within schools. Certainly, I think our product's going to be it's going to penetrate hard, and I think it'll do a good job.
Brilliant. Great. So we're going to be getting some guests in on each of our sessions, to just so that I guess you just don't have to listen to us all the time. We have different people come in across those topics. So around psychology of learning, like we're saying, we'll get a guest on the future of learning. So hopefully one of our customers around what makes great content, and then sort of different things that you can really take away from this session. So just to wrap up around this, remember you can follow us on social media at Learn Like I Am. You can find us on things like Facebook, we're on Instagram, check us out on LinkedIn, and you can see what we're up to next. Alright, so that's it from our first podcast, just literally quick intro to Tom1 and Tom2. So I'll finish by saying it's good night from him.
And it's good night from him.
Brilliant, thanks very much. Over and out. Yes.
Causing a problem.
Yeah.
Protesting about shit e-learning.
What the? Who was that? What's going on?
Yes. actually got the word penetration as well on the podcast.
Yeah, but I don't know what to say. I fucking hate this stuff.
Hey everyone, I'm Tom,
And I'm Tom,
and you're watching.
with the Tom's podcast.
You read it wrong.
And that's it for today.
Thanks for joining us. If you want more from us during Learning at Work Week, you can follow our social channels at Learn Like I Am, or connect with us on LinkedIn at I Am Learning.